our starting point. We're calling it Smarter Agent programs because it does make us all smarter to get together and learn these things and to just keep on top of things. And right now, the reason I called it shifting gears and the joy of a good mystery is welcome to real estate. We're constantly shifting gears with the market, with our buyers and sellers, and with what's going on. So, it's just the joy of a good mystery. All right, Leah.
Just click on.
Sorry.
No.
All right. Oh, I went too far. Now what? Now what?
back.
I blew it. Take it back. Why would you hand me that control?
I can't believe this.
All right, that's really funny. So obviously we're getting used to the new systems here, but back one more if I'll let you, Lynn.
I'm trying. I don't know why she's not.
Oh, lagging. There we go. There it is.
You're clicking too fast. That's fun. Yeah, you hand it to me and say click, and I push the wrong button. Go, go, go. All right. So right now I want to talk about the state of the market. And do you know how to answer these things, Joey? Since you're the one here right now, Leah, do you? These are fears. They're real questions for buyers and sellers. Do we think there's a recession going on? Yeah, it's a question mark. But the answer is really clear that yes, we have a recession. And as we read in some of the studies that are going around right now, the main recession is actually in manufacturing, and it's in industrial sales. So for us to be panicked about it in real estate, or for people to be panicked about it in real estate right now, doesn't line up with what's really going on in our market right now. What is affecting us, of course, is they're trying to curb inflation by adjusting our rates up. When rates go up, obviously that is going to modify how many buyers are still able to buy the house that they would like to have had they made the right decision prior to go ahead and buy a house, but they took too long or were sitting on their hands.
Or they just couldn't.
Right? They weren't ready. Exactly.
Yeah, like my sisters.
Right. They just simply weren't ready. So right now, the thing is, rates are going up, but so are prices. So for anybody to think that our market is just like tanking or falling off, it's not. It's still happening. I will say that with rates going up, it's far better to be a listing agent than a buyer's agent. If you have a buyer that needs to buy or is ready to buy, that's one thing. And if they're a cash buyer, so what? I was talking with one yesterday. He's bought one home through me. He bought one for his wife's mom. Now he's going to buy another one for his son, and it'll be cash. And so he really doesn't care about the rates or what's going on in the market. What he cares about is he needs a house for his kid. And these are things that we need to focus on the right things. So that focus is just huge as we're going forward. So the shift in the market is real. And, we're having, well, let's go here. If there's a shift in the market right now, the quickest way to know is new home sales start to slow. People start to do more remodel work. This is my contractor side coming out. When I was in construction, our new home sales would go down because rates were going up. People would reach in their pocket to do remodels and stay in the house that they're in. And that's when I knew the market was trending and there was going to be a shift. And typically they're only a few years and it shifts back, and it's just a roller coaster ride. The longest shift I've ever seen is 7 years, but it happens. But right now, they're not calling for a massive price adjustment for us. People are going, surely with these rates and the big shift in our market, prices are going to plummet. They're estimating 1%. We need to know our numbers. We can be that breath of fresh air, that cooling thing to people. So we take them down to history, show them past history trends. We've talked about this, Joey, in sideline conversations, you, me, and Chris. I think I've talked with Leah about it too. But if we look at our trends, and we've even looked at the graphs and things of what happened back in the late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s, the way the rates went up and people thought that prices would plummet, and they didn't. Initially, they did. And then what ended up happening is they just kind of ran side by side. And yes, prices kept going up and rates kept going up until they finally capped and rates came down and prices did what? They stayed there and then continued to go up. So everybody thinks that prices would adjust tremendously. They don't. What I'm seeing in our market right now, though, is that there are a lot of the younger buyers that didn't have much cash, that had visions of a larger home, that now that rates have gone up and they're all in on having to take a massive loan to get what they want, they can't afford as much. But it's like, okay, you can't afford as much. If you use that as an excuse to not get in the market in real estate, one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to be making a brilliant choice and somehow against all trends and everything else that's ever occurred in the past, everything's going to plummet like it did when the bubble burst. And then you're going to buy a house because you're sitting on the sidelines renting. When rental prices are out of sight right now.
Right.
This doesn't make
And
sense.
they're just gonna keep going up.
Right. So, we've got to really know those trends and look at them. What effect does a war have on our economy?
Huge. It affects all lending because banks get scared.
It affects everything. And it just kind of knocks the stability out from underneath people's line of thinking, everybody from the banks on down. So obviously right now we have banks that are also scared and trying to figure out exactly what's going on. Let's go to the next slide, Leah. That's the fun part about going into the Kiplinger letter. I love this, but when you look at the housing and look at, there's been the days of 20% annual increases have ended. Granted. Okay, so now guys, when we list a house, we can't just walk in and say, well, what do you want to list it for? Yeah. Let's try that. Great, sign here. It's, that was a lazy agent that didn't do their homework. And, but of course, even when I was going on listing appointments, I had done my homework. I can't help myself. So I had gone ahead and ran all the comps for those communities, everything for those sellers, had it already neatly, brought it in, and realized that by the time I got to their door, the value of the property had already gone up probably another 15 to 20,000. It's just one of those things that makes it very challenging. So when that occurred, of course, I did say, hey, with the trend in our market right now, go in and Lewis, yeah, we're recording, so one of those things. But so right now, that did affect things. Now we're saying that things are leveling off, so our true prices are going to be true prices. What homes are selling for is the accurate number to list a home for. That's the same thing that the appraisers are going to be thinking, I believe, my personal opinion, of course. But, if you're looking at the rate of a 30-year loan going up to 5.8%, actually back down again, it's going to bounce back and forth. But, the only people I think that are going to really have a difficult time with resale are those that had massive 100% loans, bought at the absolute peak of the market, and the market adjusts by even 1%. If they want to sell it in a couple of years, yeah, that affects what they're going to take away from it. It doesn't affect it if they stay long term. They'll be fine. They just need to realize they're going to be fine. And of course, down at the bottom of this letter, I love it because they talk about the prospect of declines, and it raises the fears of another housing meltdown. But the overall market is so much healthier than when the bubble burst. We didn't have people that just, hey, let me see your breath on a mirror. Sure, sign here, you can have a loan. No doc loans. There are some no doc loans back again. I think it's silly. I think it's very important that we make sure that we take good care of our buyers and our sellers by helping them make wise decisions. It's right up there with underpricing a home by, 25% to help somebody get it sold quickly and not letting them know that they're leaving money on the table. Is that ethical?
I was reading that.
Okay, it is not ethical at all. What ends up happening is they can sue you for the difference that you cost them if you didn't tell them the true value of the home. And there are some agents that do that. It's horrible. And or somebody says, hey, all I want to make is $200,000 and I'm happy, and the home's worth $300,000, and you sell it. Doesn't have to be to your friend, family member, anybody else. You sell it and you didn't tell them that it's worth an additional 33%. Your butt's in a sling. It's bad.
So you want wholesaling and et cetera? Like, is that where a lot of wholesalers will get slapped around?
No, wholesalers are not realtors.
Okay.
If you have a realtor that's wholesaling, yes. Okay. But if it's not a professional realtor, if it is a wholesaler and that's what they do for a business, It's what they do for a business. They're making their money on the paper in between. A lot of people don't understand wholesale.
Yeah.
What Joey's talking about is when somebody finds a bargain property or sends out the I buy homes, any condition kind of things. And people will actually call them and sell them their homes significantly under market value. That person turns around and gets them tied up into a contract with a long closing date. In the meanwhile, they resell the house for more, have a double closing on closing day. They walk away with a big fat check. These people did a silly thing. It happens. But anyway, that's wholesaling.
Okay.
It's
That's
not,
sure.
no, it's not illegal, but it is now that you're a realtor.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you move forward even further and get your broker associate license, your responsibilities get even higher. The more knowledge you have, the more that they can prove that you know, the more trouble you can get into. That's welcome to life.
So even if you disclose, hey, your property is worth 300,
Then you're fine.
yeah, but they're like, whatever, this one's selling to.
That's fine.
Okay, cool.
Sign here that you agree
Right,
with
okay.
Yeah.
that.
That's what I wondered about things.
Write it on a friggin' napkin.
Yeah, there's a napkin, there's a napkin.
Sign that proof, please. All right, so anyway, the Kiplinger letter is a great place to go to. Look at the housing forecasts. Single family startups are down right now. They're expecting them to go back up in 2023. However, in 2023, let's face it, they're expecting also the recession to kick in and inflation to kick in more. So I don't know that prices are going to climb dramatically. And, you know, housing startups, if they're not selling to the younger people that are paying higher rates, then they're going to slow down, like we were talking about with construction. This is interesting because it shows you the multifamily, new home sales, existing home sales, just everything going on in the market. And it really gives you a good feel for what's really going on in our market. Do you think it's important for us as agents to know what's going on in the market?
A little bit.
Okay, because there are those that don't pay any attention to this. And all they want to do is help people buy and sell houses. How can you do that effectively if you can't speak to numerics?
Yeah.
At some point, you need to know a bit about this. I think it's wise to get up in the morning as professional agents, look at new homes that have hit the market, so you know what's going on over your cup of coffee, maybe after devotions, after breakfast, whatever, during breakfast. Look at what's coming on the market right now. Then just Google Market Watch. If you Google that, it'll pull up what's going on in their market right now. And it's kind of like me in sports. I am not a big sports fan other than the Ohio State Buckeyes. I will go there. I love college football. But other than that, I really don't care. I would rather play outside, do other things. But the bottom line is to communicate with a lot of other men. I have to at least look at the sports and see what's going on to be able to talk with the brain when people talk about it, or they look at you like you're an idiot. I don't want anybody looking at y'all like you're idiots when it comes to the housing market and what we do for a living. It's important to have a good deal. Right. And part of our profession is being able to relate well to others. Otherwise, I wouldn't even look at some of the sports stuff, right? All right, let's go to the next slide, Leah. So, market downturn. This is what everybody is freaking out about right now. And is it true? Well, warning signs are emerging. You just looked at a lot of the stuff in the Kiplinger letter. And, you know, so I thought about it and went, hey, we live in Florida. A hurricane's coming. What do Floridians do?
Go to the beach.
Most of the time we chill, at least until we know.
Make a coffee, get the hot tub, yeah, just watch the skies.
It's getting pretty.
But the other thing we always do is we have extra water in the ground.
Yeah.
We're prepared. And the reason we can fill is because we're prepared. And we're not freaking out and trying to run. We know our houses are good. We have some plywood to put up over the windows. All right, so the same thing here. If the market is cooling a little bit, that's one thing. It's not melting down like they're trying to make it appear in the news, because the news likes to have, well, there's a song about it, of course, back in the old days, but it's dirty laundry. They want to know what's terrible, what can we scare people with, so they'll read our stuff. You know, they don't have the good news section. Well, I guess they do on Band News Night. But anyway, we need to overcome the severity of things that is being quoted and posted out there that may or may not be true. I don't think most of it is, especially again in the housing market. locally in Florida, I am talking locally in Florida.
Yeah.
Yes, over our US right now, there are definitely markets that are going down in value.
Yeah.
They were overpriced horribly to start with. People really didn't want to live there, even though they knew they could work from home and they bought houses. They want to be in nicer locations like Florida.
Yeah.
So we need to hit this with optimism. We need to have that, I don't know, just that chill. I consider it the Holy Spirit being with me, just the peace that comes with it. But be factual. If we know these things and we can be factual, most people aren't. They're running off emotion. So if we can be factual and go, hey, I'm not knocking what you're saying, but have you taken a look at the numbers? If you take a look at the numbers, we're really not expecting any dramatic drops in Florida.
Yeah.
We're just not. And, yes, we are seeing a drop in the number of buyers. Doesn't mean we're seeing a drop in actual sales. We're not seeing an actual drop. Well, we are a little bit, but we're not seeing a big drop in value. And I think that's where people are really concerned is value. And so some folks are parking it on the sideline in RVs and mobile homes. Okay. I mean, my crystal ball broke when the market melted down last time with the bubble pop burst. I accepted that fact because, everybody that owned a house had an issue during that time. It was not easy. And those that didn't own a house had even a bigger issue because the market was tanking and they didn't have any other reserves.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there. So do we want to sit on the sidelines or do we want to accept the fact that homes in our area are continuing to increase in value? And you make your money when you buy a house on a home. People don't understand that, especially in investing. If you don't buy it right and you just get excited and get in a bidding war and overpay, that's not necessarily a good thing. Unless it's exactly what you want, you're willing to overpay for it because you're staying. It's the same thing with people that buy a car and put every single option there is on it.
Yeah.
That value goes down every bit as quickly, actually more than the car that's baseline. So if you buy the baseline house in the neighborhood and do your own upgrades yourself, your values are solid. So be factual, guys, and be sure to refer to those Kiplinger letters and things like that. Next. So what's going on? We already talked a bit about buyer traffic, but have you guys felt that? Joey, in your listings, have you felt that?
Yeah, it's definitely not as, you're not having 80 agents trying to book you on the very first day.
Right.
It's cooled off. Things are sitting on market longer. And honestly, even with my buyers, I feel like I can genuinely be an agent now again. Like it sounds very weird, but like I feel like I can actually, hey, here's 10 properties. Let me know which ones you like, and we'll schedule for a show in Friday.
Yeah.
Like when you have available time.
Right.
Instead of, hey, here's 10 houses that you like. You have 12 hours to decide because 8 of these are probably going to be tempted.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
we don't put the offer in tonight.
Yeah, like it's now I actually feel like, hey, let's go look at the houses. We can go roam. That gives people time to think and process. And
okay, so with that train of thought, what's happening then is buyer traffic may be down, but I agree, we can do our job.
Yeah.
So now we can say, hey, let's actually look at a few homes. But also in our market, if a home is priced very effectively still,
it still goes quick.
plan on the
Yeah.
fact that it may go in 2 or 3 days, if that lasts that long, and still over asking price.
Yeah.
It's still happening.
Oh,
we,
yeah.
Chris and I just sold
Yeah.
one significantly over asking
Yeah.
price. Can't tell you that and have it on recording because it hasn't closed.
Right.
But it's still happening.
Yeah.
So, word to the wise, you get a listing, price it accurately, and it'll still sell. And you may still end up with a
Areas
bidding
so
war.
critical.
Of course.
Yeah, like just you have something priced. I mean, that was the house in Ruskin.
Mhm.
Priced very well,
Yeah.
but it was just one of those
Where it's at.
where it's at and the price is.
And for that too, if you're thinking about it from an appraiser's point of view, it's if it's sitting in a neighborhood with lots of solid comps, it's way easier to sell than a home that's sitting on acreage by itself. And all of a sudden now they can't find exact homes like that to compare against. And appraisers have to do their job. And a lot of them, I'm convinced, also are on a learning
Oh,
curve.
absolutely. I just had a conversation with lenders, said the exact same thing. He's like, I really think the appraisers were just firing from the hip because they could. A lot of people jumped in because they can make money like realtors. You're just jumping into appraisals because they can make money. And
There you go.
now they're struggling.
So the beautiful part that we're talking about is listings up or down.
depends on the day you look at the MLS.
Yeah,
It really does.
Thursday.
Okay, but if we look overall, I think what we're gonna see is that listings are continuing, even though some sellers are freaking out with our market right now too.
Yeah,
It's not just the buyer side. People watching the news, it's like people watching COVID reports. It's like, stop watching the stupid thing and live life, and everything will be okay in the long run.
yeah.
But people that panic, I mean, heck, it was purely fear that you saw in them. And you're gonna see that in people in the changing markets and as things shift and stuff like that too.
I think we're seeing some professionalism from a lot of agents that overprice just to get listings. Because yesterday was 44 new listings to 123 decrease.
That's good. So
Yeah.
the last thing I had put on my notes here is price reductions.
Oh, yeah.
We're seeing them.
Oh,
And you will see that too. What we used to call it buying a listing. So in other
Yeah.
words, an agent comes in, talks to a seller,
Mhm.
convinces them that everybody else are idiots and that you can really get $50,000 more than anybody else is telling you
Right.
that you can. And look, here's one comp that kind of supports it. Ignore the other 15.
Yeah.
It's this one, and it happened to be on the water, and everything was totally updated, and it was absolutely gorgeous.
And it was not your house.
Amazing.
Okay,
Yeah.
now.
Right, right. You might need to pick your underwear up off the floor and clean the toilet paper out of the corner. But anyway, price reductions are happening, and that's what happens and happened when people bought listings. So an agent comes in, overprices the listing, knowing that, hey, I got the listing. It's not gonna sell for 30 or 60 days, and I'll get them to bring the price down to where it will. The agent still makes money. The seller's the one that loses because the longer it's on the market, the less money they typically make. That's right. So what's happening with new builds, guys? What are you guys seeing?
I've even seen their prices level out. Lennar just brought back their 3% commission.
And incentives are
And
going
they're
back
not
up.
doing, basically the bidding wars anymore. It's
Right,
first come,
they
first
actually
served.
have a price again, yeah.
Yeah,
So, you know,
Which
all
proves that the market is taking a breath.
right. But here's my other question. Are you guys visiting the new home communities? Let me rephrase that. I'm not gonna put you on the spot. I want you guys to be visiting the new home communities. And here's what's so important. You know, we had one agent that started videoing the new homes. And I know that Leah had actually started videoing the new homes. Some of those never made it onto Facebook and things like that, which is free content. And I know agents that's all they do, and they get a lot of new home sales. And I've mentioned that repeatedly. It's the easiest way to get new home sales. What's the easiest home to sell?
When it's completely staged.
Yeah, a new home. Absolutely. You might have to wait to get paid. Oh, well, it's either that though or an underpriced home. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
So new builds, they're getting inventory again. Actually,
Yeah.
some of the builders are starting to pull back
Yeah.
because they're realizing, oh, we can't make 75% over the market value on our house anymore. And we have to price it accurately now, and no more bidding wars. And we'll start offering incentives. And so then they'll put more into the house to make it appear as though the home is actually worth more. It's just a builder's frame of mind, okay? Baseline home, market's rocking. That's the one they're typically going to sell the heck out of. When the market starts to come down, instead of showing that their prices are coming down, all of a sudden now it has granite countertops, tile floors, nicer upgrades to the garage. They put upgrades into it
Instead of bringing.
so that the value can stay the same and the prices don't come down. And it makes their values in their community stay up. So that's just the building trend or building techniques,
Yeah.
I guess, of builders and the way they finance with their folks.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Mhm.
All right, roll on, Leah. And hey, guys, just so you know, just because we block out 2 hours to do a training and get updated in the market, doesn't mean I'm sitting here trying to make it take 2 hours. It's whatever time it takes, and we'll get through what I have laid out for you guys, and then we'll answer questions, and we'll call it a day, and we'll do it again in 2 weeks. Okay? So I don't want you guys to come in here and think, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be stuck for 2 hours. You might, but that's up to you guys.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, unless I'm just running off the mouth, which happens sometimes. So the thing here is we're still selling. I am so excited. I'm having fun. Guys, we got this office done.
Yeah.
Oh, praise God. The business side is done. You guys know what I really like to do?
No?
I love selling. It is so fun to me. I really, I get a kick out of it. I don't think people can begin to realize how fun it is to me to pick up the phone, talk to people, figure out what they want, send them things, and go on to the next one, do the same thing, and then circle back real quick and go, hey, did you like any of this? You want to go see anything? Let's do it. And I've already got that stacking up in my pipeline again. I don't know if anybody's looked in, can they see app files if they pull up Ken? All right, if you did, you'd be surprised about the last 2 weeks. It's going up again to the point where I'm hoping that what I can do is get that rocking enough to where I can start passing those leads out. Because I don't know if you guys, I think most of you guys know, we killed the Zillow program for now. It died as of my birthday, August 5th. And we still have leads from that. Doesn't mean that those went away, but we couldn't get the return on investment. I'm getting off script. But the bottom line is it's still selling, but Zillow got us buyers leads. In this market, we need sellers. So we need to focus on getting listings and getting sellers. It's a stable method for real estate agents to get an income.
That's more so.
Absolutely. You guys need to look back at these things. I mean, this is on master marketing. I get all these things all the time. I don't know if you guys get them or not, but this is just the basic that we've talked about repeatedly. But what they're saying now, listings are the name of the game. Good listing agents income is 75% listings sold, 25% buyers. Just so you know. And these are available if anybody wants any of the info that I've pulled out. But it's important to look at. And then how about rent versus own? Do you guys know how to answer that question when people are panicked about our market? And should I rent or should I buy? We'll flip to that in a minute. I've got some write-ups about that. But when we're selling, what are we really selling in Florida? You guys ever thought about that? It's really the lifestyle. And I mean, it's right on our own name and our own logo. It's your lifestyle, your way. And it is a lifestyle. So on our client profile sheet, one of the big questions is, what do you like to do? What do you like to do? What do you want to be around? If we can figure that out and really plug people into where they want to be, the house is secondary. I mean, I know everybody thinks they're buying a house. That's the primary thing. It's like, yeah, to some people, but very few people just live life indoors.
Yeah.
So if we can now put that house close to, say they like to go to the movies, near a movie theater, fine. They love the clothes shop. It needs to be near a mall. That's easy enough, right? They love the ocean. Oh my gosh, they don't have to be on the beach to be able to access the beach.
Yeah.
And we know our local culture, right? So we know what's going on around the beaches and what's going on, if they've got family, if they don't, what beaches they should be at. You know, even if there's now a naked beach, it's like, oh my gosh, please don't. But it's happening and all these things. So, you know, where are the ice cream shops? What would the kids enjoy? No, we don't have kids, but we really like fine dining.
St. Armand's, hello.
It's either St. Armand or you get them out to Longboat Key, you get them to Mara Vista, you get them to the shore, you get them to the sandbar on Anna Maria. There are so many places that we ought to know about and where to point people.
Yeah.
And, you know, depending on who it is, one of my favorite things to do is to try and get them to tour homes over lunch hour. I'll take them out to lunch. And if it's an area that's really what they dig, I'll take them out to tide tables or something, find out what they like. Is it expensive? Sometimes, yeah, people take advantage of it, but okay, because then they also are locked in and, you know, you're sitting at the dinner table or lunch, breakfast, whatever. Well, yeah, and hey, by the way, this is my loyalty agreement. Hire me. Be sure they've done these things. Those things, I know I've pushed a little bit about having it right out of the starting gate, but it's not right out of the starting gate. It never has been. It's one of those things you can slide by them right up front with the client profile sheets. You can do your best job, but you need to sell yourself. If we just think that because they called us, they're going to sign and hire you, typically isn't going to work that way. But we can sell them on the local culture, our natural resources. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is just the fun stuff. Again, if you're out at the beach, why wouldn't you run a quick video blurb? Hey, look, there's some rays going by. This is so cool, dolphin. People love that. And so we're selling our natural resources, right? The sand, the surf. It's Florida. Oh my gosh, there's a storm blowing in. And instead of being panicked about it, this is so cool. They'll roll in, they'll be gone in 10 minutes. You know?
The kite borders launch into the air.
Right, right. Don't slam into the building. So
See how the rain stops right there and then it's sunny here, welcome to Florida.
Yeah.
Well, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm sitting on my back porch, and it's not raining.
It's raining, but my front porch is.
Yeah.
It happens. Oh, look, the sun's out and it's raining. It's a sunshine. Right?
There when you turn on just the back sprinkler.
Yeah, keep on the back of the Scott things.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I do want you guys to know that we're not just selling a house, right? We're selling the local culture, our natural resources, the food, fun things to do. I mean, people can come here and go parasailing if they want to. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Scuba dive, snorkel. There are all these tours that are available that are fun things to do.
The big thing for even the international clients is having the local SRQ and the international.
Yes, that's right. Our airports are close, and or you drop south to Punta Gorda. We have multiple airports that people can fly in and out of. Of course, even at Port of Tampa for cruises and things. If people want to get on a cruise ship, it's just the fun things to do. And I had in here, my notes from NAR because I'm constantly pulling things out. But we already talked about that. But this is cool stuff too. When go into NAR, guys, if you haven't, the National Association of Realtors. And I have printouts. You guys can have these things, whatever you'd like. But it's so important to take a look at what they're pointing out. The same thing with FAR. NAR is nationally what's going on, right? FAR is Florida. It's right here. And they will give you ideas on their websites on even how to talk to people. I mean, what are you going to talk about? So, sales. Go to the next page. We were looking at renting versus buying. So this was very interesting. This is some of the NAR notes. It's just, I see this all the time. Continuing to rent is not the right choice. People don't seem to get the fact that you can rent a life, right? And have nothing at the end. You can lease a car, you can rent a house, you can do everything you do as a rental. You can rent a computer, you can rent rims for your car. It's like, oh my gosh. So something is better to rent if prices have gone up or are going up. Same research study shows that rent price is going up as well, right? 20.5%. You can tell somebody off the top of your head, hey, look, over the past year, rent price has gone up 20.5% too. Makes the average rental price approximately $440 greater than the average mortgage payment. That's assuming we're at 5%.
Yeah.
Is it really wise to rent and sit on the sidelines? You may be thinking you're saving money, but you're still spending it. I don't know why people don't realize they're still spending it. So the reasons they're inclined, high increase in housing prices, right? Yeah, so many buyers are priced out of the market, which means they're forced to rent. So let's face it, some people are going to be renters. They need to be renters. Some people don't want to take care of things. And instead of realizing they get into a condo or a community that has all of these things tended to and cared for, they're just designed to be renters. Okay, you can't fight that line of reasoning and line of thought. It's like somebody that's only interested in the payment, not a payoff. You aren't going to get past that with some folks. And that's okay. Again, everybody has different perspectives. I happen to agree with Dave Ramsey in paying things off. And I'm trying to work out of the back pocket as much as you can. But, is it reality in life? Especially it's not at a younger age. You're going to have some debt. Keep it nominal, guys. My opinion. Like that. You sell homes, double your money. How do you double your money, guys?
Hold it.
Hold it in half.
You guys
Fold it in half
listening.
again.
I love you
And
guys.
put it in your
Yeah,
pocket.
fold it in half, put it back in
Especially
your
as a
pocket.
real estate agent.
That's a fact, you don't. So if you sell a bunch of homes, wonderful. Don't just go spending the money thinking, hey, I'm doing great and it's always going to be this way. I can afford that Maserati I've always wanted. And my wife's getting a new Jag because we deserve it.
You deserve it? What do you mean you deserve it?
Well, that's typical sales. You walk into a jewelry store, the jeweler puts that necklace around your neck. Oh man, that looks great on you.
I mean,
look at yourself
sell
in the
the same
mirror.
thing. Look at this
You
house.
deserve it.
You
Right.
deserve this
You
house.
deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, we're the same thing as them, except we
Right.
get sold Like friggin'
Sell ourselves.
stuff. Like,
Yeah. So, the rent versus own. Rent, you can make somebody else wealthy by paying off their home for them. They bought it in the high point of the market.
That's the same bar. I'll be right back.
Space bar. You believe in me? That's
Joey's
great.
here.
I'm here.
But, again, you can pay off somebody else's house, even if they bought it in the high point in the market, you're making their payment. Why wouldn't you make your own? I don't
You
get it.
can't, like my sister and brother-in-law are a perfect example of they dreamed to have a home. And that's actually where Dave Ramsey put a curse in a sense, where they wanted to do 15-year.
Right.
They okay, look, 15-year, yeah, if you are making X amount of dollars, absolutely the biggest blessing you can do. But if you're stuck in the pickle, and which they also have a great situation, they're paying like $1,000 for rent.
Mhm.
It's great. That's it. I wouldn't want to leave that either if I don't find
If
the
you
right
got
house,
something that
right?
discounted.
But now, guess what? They're selling the house, and the owner is selling the house, and now they have to try to find rent, and the only way to anything is $2,400.
Right.
And it's like, well, that's just we can't do that.
Well, and I know I'm being recorded and I'm more than happy to. Dave Ramsey, I disagree with you on some things. One of them is that 15-year mortgage. That's great if people are solid and can do that. Otherwise, you're telling some people to live in a mobile home, and I don't agree with that.
Or just wait for the market to come.
The other thing I don't agree with Dave Ramsey's programs, and let me back up.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say,
Yeah.
I think his
Yeah.
programs are outstanding.
Yeah.
We have studied them. We have taught the Financial Peace
I
University
live
in
by
our
some of
church.
them.
I definitely do. But one of the other things I disagree with is every dollar has a name. How does that leave you the ability to bless somebody else in life the way the scriptures tell us to, and to be prepared to? And if you've got it in the power of your hand to do it, do it. Just saying, I think that you need to have that. I do think that every dollar should have a name when it comes to your bills. Don't spend your bill money or give your bill money away. That's just bad stewardship, right? So we have to be good stewards. But anyway, I still think that renting is for some people. For most people, it's still not a good choice.
Right.
Choosing to buy is almost always better. This is just the rule of thumbs that come from, again, NAR. It's almost always better to choose to buy than rent. The longer you stay beyond 2 years, the more beneficial it is to have purchased a home. And that's because typically our values are going up, and people price themselves out of the market by sitting on the sidelines if they could actually get in. Of course, we don't want them to get into more home than they can comfortably afford, but if they can get in, it's the right way to do it. Out of pocket, again, end up paying for over 2 years, you're good. This comes down to refis too. If somebody's not going to live in a home for more than another 3 years, why would they refinance it and get a lower rate? You're going to be paying for those charges over a time period, and it typically takes 3 years to pay off the difference of what you paid to refinance, because there are tons of fees that come with them. Even Robert Palmer, RP Funding, I'll pay your closing costs. He only pays a percentage of things. It's great marketing. So as time goes by, the greater benefit you gain by choosing to buy rather than rent. This is the way you can talk to people. You can express current numbers. Again, this is March of 22. This isn't old. I mean, it's not like it was yesterday.
Right.
It's not old. This is recent news. Ooh, sorry, I'm breaking things. Puppy for Mike. But anyway, these are the kind of things you need to know when you're talking to people. And again, what's going on with the market? I'm scared to death. Well, okay, but there's somebody else going to buy the house. Where are you going to live? Well, I'm going to rent. Okay, even if you have a mobile home or a RV or whatever, where are you going to park it? You're going to pay to park it there. You're going to be paying fees, and you're helping to pay off that park for the guy that owns it or the girl that owns it, right?
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
I heard it click.
Space bar.
That's not ignoring
Nothing's happening.
it. It's clicking. Like this at the end. Is this the end?
Whoa.
Better not be.
This is the end.
Leah has returned. All right.
Keep it simple.
So Leah and I were talking about this when I was trying to come up with another C word to put at the top. She's like, Dad, just keep it simple. And hey,
And there it is.
you want to put us back on screen too?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Move this folks going. Not that I see anybody joining us at the moment, but it may vary. So, yes. Just keep it simple, Dad. Okay, so we're trying to keep it simple. These are the standards in real estate sales. Actually, guys, it's any kind of sales. I've done a lot of sales over my lifetime. When I first started out of high school, I was a Mary Gable water conditioning salesperson, and I was one of the top guys, just because I like to talk to people and I study. So it's all about content. What did we just talk about on selling? Natural resources. What else, guys?
Lifestyle.
Yeah. Food, things to do. What you're doing. You're at the beach. That's all content that you can use in your own marketing. This isn't about marketing Ellerman's Realty. This is about marketing you guys and how you do it effectively. If you are constantly only putting out pictures of houses on your Facebook or your ads or what you're doing, people go, oh, that's nice. Yeah, he's selling stuff.
Right, you're just another real estate agent.
La, 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 right. But if you're posting fun stuff in between, like sea turtles hatching on Anna Maria Island, okay, you're going to all of a sudden get 1,000 hits on that on a Facebook versus 5.
Yeah.
Which would you rather have? You know? And the thing is, the 1,000 people who looked at that, a number of them are still going to flip back through and go, oh yeah, they're still selling houses. Check it out. They're doing well. And so the whole idea is to use content to make a connection. And this is what we talked about with even Zillow leads when we've done that, and it's still appropriate with Zillow leads and or buyer leads. You've got to make that conversation. You've got to make that connection. Without a connection, you have a conversation that goes nowhere. If you can't find, and again, I'm a military brat, so it's second nature to me. To meet people, we can't find, yeah, you find the common ground. Same thing that you do in ministry. It is what it is. You find that common ground so you can make a connection with somebody, so you can have a conversation, right? Now, that conversation is where things start to be more fun, because all of a sudden you get more personal detail. The more questions you ask, the more the other person talks, the better the conversation is for them, and the higher chances of converting them into somebody that, number one, is either converting for ministry, for Christ, converting someone into a buyer, or a friend. It's just, it's converting somebody. Can you convert somebody when you have that initial content connection and put your hire me now, and do you have your pre-approval letter in hand now, or else I'm not going to show you a single house? How's that going to work?
It's not.
It's a dead end street. That would only work for somebody that is a brand new buyer and doesn't have a clue what they're doing, and you can be a little more demanding with them, but I still don't work it that way. You've got to convert them. Once you get to the convert portion, yes, say, hey, why don't you hire me? I'd love to work for you. I'd be honored to, honestly. That'd be great. Let's start looking for a house for it. Ah, man, I don't have my loyalty agreement. I'm going to email it to you along with my client profile sheet, because the more you fill in on those things, the better job I can do for you. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah.
And it's
I'd love to
free.
get to know you more.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
I'd love to get to know you more. And I
Right.
add stuff. I add like your favorite drink, favorite snack, and those are things that, as you know, I give to them at close.
Yeah,
And so, or I show up, like if I know I'm swinging by a Starbucks or something, I got their coffee, and especially with the family I've been serving for a little while, you know, I'll swing by, grab their coffee, or hey, what do you want?
Yeah,
You have to get no, hey, already there, like
that's cool. So that's how you convert, and all of a sudden you get the cash that comes from a closing. A lot of folks start in reverse. I need cash. I have to sell. Whether you have to sell and you have to pay your bills or not, if you come across that way, your sales will just go dead end street. You have to be on this upper playing field in your mind. Regardless, I'm here to serve these people. I'm here to meet their needs. I'm here to find the perfect home for them that meets their lifestyle, what they like to do, where they want to be. It's got to be about them.
Yeah.
The minute we make it about ourselves, and what we need, it's dead. It's just, the chances of your sales being more than one are very slim if you get one. And, some people actually get several and have done great and continue to sell that way. And all of a sudden they wonder why they can't get a sale. It's because people know they don't care. That's another one I should have put on here, another C word. Why
There
don't
it
they
is.
Care.
We genuinely have to
Yeah.
care about them.
You truly have to.
Really
care.
do.
Yeah. You're right in there with connection and conversation. The conversations, it is there because you care.
Yeah.
If it's not, it's just a business
Yeah,
discussion.
yeah. If someone's just money, then guess what? They'll only ever be money and they're gonna move on to another agent because
Right.
you were only money to them.
Yeah, and somebody else was willing to sell my house for less.
Right.
So that's why I
Yeah.
went with them.
Right.
It's not because of who you are, it's really because it saved me more money and it's more important than you are.
Yeah.
It happens.
Okay,
And
well done.
you learn people and you learn more
Money
about
makes
people.
people crazy.
And family. All right. Let's go to the next one.
Well, thanks for adding that one.
Well, it's so funny when what money does to people is.
Not in our family.
No. My family.
I've seen it in families. So, what do we need to do? We have to force ourselves to relax.
Yeah.
When we come in a room, we have to, and I know I do this extremely well, guys, and it's because I really do care about people, but I think it's also because I have Holy Spirit in my life, but I am relaxed. Even if the situations are very tense, I'll walk in and people say they can feel the pressure in the room deflate. My pressure might be through the roof and my blood pressure may be up, but they're never going to see that. And I'm going to have prayed, honestly, before I go in that room for peace. It works.
Yeah.
So the way we can do that effectively too, and having that peace in our market and all of these things, what's going on, it's scary. Know the numbers. If we can tell them that, hey, it's really only expecting maybe a 1% adjustment in the Florida real estate market, if that, if they're on the water. No, maybe the home's gonna take longer to sell, but the price probably isn't gonna drop. It is what it is. So, you need to, again, know your numbers, be calm, be peaceful. It's really important, especially people going through a divorce. Joey just had to deal with a very difficult one, where honestly, the guy should have probably only been communicating through his attorney because he was not a nice guy, and it's difficult. So there is that, but if we can be that fresh air, that voice of peace, even if somebody else is losing their or having an emotional meltdown, we'll just go there. It really helps the situation. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to call you back and apologize because again, you're not their family member. You're not the one they're really mad at. They're just mad at the world at the moment. And it happens. So let's just with that. As you relax, you're marketing all the time. And even with that person that you've now helped relax, you're marketing because they're going to share that with other people. Man, I was an idiot with this guy, and he still did everything very professionally. Everything he was supposed to do, what she was supposed to do. And I'd highly recommend it. You're marketing, right? If you think of every situation as a marketing situation, it's great. It might not happen when driving, but if you've got your car signs on and you're flipping somebody the number 1 sign and driving like an idiot, you're marketing. And what's your marketing say about you?
Yeah.
You're more important than they are because you've got to go first. How about you cut me off? Have a great day, man.
Yeah.
You're in a more rush than I am.
Yeah, but what helps me is I'm always considering my mom and dad got to be terrible drivers. When somebody cuts me off, I try my best to go, be careful, Mom. It's gonna be all right, and then they go slow and I want to go around them.
You're like, ah.
But anyway, just say, so as we market, do it consistently.
Yeah.
Consistency is huge. And I did want to talk about marketing for just a minute because I'm not sure what you guys are doing personally for marketing. Our numbers are again showing that old school marketing is working again. Everybody's doing the Facebook thing. It's free. Why wouldn't you? Everybody's doing the online marketing. That's free. It makes sense. You need to do that, which is where the content comes into play big time, right? But that content also comes into play with, I'm now geo-marketing, I'm targeting my farm, this one neighborhood, I want to sell that neighborhood. And this is what I'm getting ready to back up to again, guys. So if anybody wants to see what I'm going to start doing, I'm going to be doing some postcard mailings again. It's old school, 90% of them end up in the trash can. If you just do that, it's not going to work. If you do them consistently, I don't know, once every other week, it gets expensive, or every 2 weeks, maybe once a month, that's great. But now, if it's where you live, you got a dog, walk the dog, say hi to everybody. You put your signs on your cars. You don't.
You're actually with it.
Well, and you're right, and my HOA makes me take them off, and then I forget them on the freezer like I did this morning again. It's like, okay. But if you remember to put them on your car during the daytime, the HOA is not gonna be able to do anything about it. Sun goes down and you got it on it, or sun comes up in the morning and they're wet, yeah, they'll find you. But that's okay. The thing is, you want to be constantly putting your marketing and yourself out there. If you sell a home, it doesn't end there. You don't say congratulations, send them a basket and say, okay, next, where am I looking? How about instead you reach out to, I don't know, 100, 250 of the neighbors close by. Hey, I just sold this one. That's what everybody does, right? You send that one out. A couple weeks later, you send out another one. Hey, I'm looking for more inventory. We've got buyers. Who wants to sell? There's just simple cards. You don't want to load up a postcard with trying to put every thought you have in it. Come up with the best thought. It's focused, and that's what's on there. But if you can do that consistently and in a passionate way, it really makes a difference. So if you're passionate about your work, people will catch on to that. You can't help it because you get excited. Start talking about real estate. I speed up. I can't help myself. I talk faster, but it's just the way it is. And so as we're doing that, that's one thing. Another thing you can do, if you've done the mailings and these other things, you could go door knocking. I know I've mentioned that over and over again. I door knocked my entire neighborhood when we first moved in. I probably need to do it again. But it's just a way for me to say, hey, I'm your neighbor, just want to say hi. I am a real estate broker. If you ever go to buy or sell or know anybody else wanting to enter out of the neighborhood, please take my card and have them call me. I'm not trying to whatever they call it, solicit for business. It was really just saying hi. But here's my card. If I can ever help you with anything, give me a call. People don't mind. Every now and then you get an idiot that does. And you know what? Put on the armor of God. Have your thick skin on in sales. If somebody slams the phone down on you, call them back. My favorite thing to do. Oh, I think we got disconnected. if they hang up again, don't bother. But oftentimes when I do that one, I'll even get a chuckle on the other end of the phone. And I'll go, yeah, I hate it when I get disconnected. They're in phones. But anyway, what I was talking about was, and I'll get leads
my
out
client. We hung up on me. They're like, oh,
right, but I'm consistent, and it's fun. So you know that rolls into the next training we're going to do, which I'm going to be making calls sitting right here. You guys get to see what I did, and then if you guys want to, you can do them too. But I think that it really helps, and we're calling that one monkey see, monkey do because it's just fun, but it's real. And you may not do it the way I do it. That's fine as long as you do it and you do what you do well consistently. If you don't, you won't get sales. If you sit there and go, gosh, why isn't my phone ringing? And look at your phone. How's that work in sales?
Yeah.
It's terrible. If your phone's not ringing, use it to call somebody. So now back to the geo marketing, farm marketing. Cold calling. Oh my gosh, does that send shivers of fear through some people? I don't mind doing it because again, I'm looking for a way to make a connection. And that's why I'm doing that. So you roll back into the C's. How's it going? Cash, connect, or no, not cash. No cash, cash is not work. You know, but it's connect conversation and it turns into cash. Mark and I talked about that forever. It's real. And if you focus and you organize and you track how you're doing these things, it works.
yeah, and I think that's the hardest, at least for me, is genuinely tracking, like, why did this connection work so well and why did this one not? Obviously, sometimes it's relational, like the connection between the person. But then other times, like, well, actually, I missed that, or I haven't been as responsive to X and so on and so on. And that's definitely at least for me, tracking how I do my relationships. Because I have buddies saying that I'm like I network everything. And I don't need to. Like I genuinely just talk to people. Yep. And he literally will be going to work and laughs at me. He's like, dude, you're networking. I'm like, what? What do you mean? And I'm like, yeah, you just talked to the chef for 20 minutes, like about his life. Like you're networking. I'm like, I don't treat it that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey man, you've been a chef for 20 years? Holy cow, you look like you're 28. That doesn't make any sense. Like,
You've been cooking since you were a kid.
Yeah, like that's literally what I picture. It's, oh, you're 40? Oh, wow. And just it's a connection.
Wow, you're old.
No, it's more you look like you're
but if we're not passionate about what we do, how are those discussions ever going to happen?
Yeah.
And or like Lil was right now, working with a great buyer. It's wonderful because she helped them work with a lender, finding the right lender that would actually lend them money, and then encourage them on what you need to do to get there.
Yeah.
That's an important part about caring and doing what we're doing. And it will lead to sales. It's just the way it works. And even though it's easy to say these things and you have newer agents that are sitting there going, I need a sale. It's like, we understand that. We all do. And they'll come. And on the other hand, yeah, some people need another job. I mean, it is what it is. But if we treat this like a job, like a business, it will produce. It does. But you have to do the same things. You've got to write your schedules out. I'm going to do the dot board still too. We're going to have to do a coaching on that. I shared it briefly with Joey and Chris, but you might have seen it too, but it's what I used to do, of course, was I had my whiteboard, broke it up, said, this is the daily activities I'm going to do and what I'm going to do. And if I didn't do it at that point, you take that dot and you move it down the board, but you still have to do it. So be passionate, be consistent. And the next one, Leah. So we need to think about these things, which come directly from our website and directly from our heart. It's like, what do we need to do? This is another one we ought to have on the wall. We provide you, our customers, superior service to being genuinely attentive to your needs and truly listening to your vision. If we do that, they know we care, right? Mm-hmm. If we don't do that, they're just another business line item. It's our team's goal to determine your passions and lifestyle, and we care enough to give you our best. If we're not giving someone our best, if we're just demanding things out of them, that relationship may actually get you one sale, but they're not going to refer their family to you because, man, they didn't even call me after the sale after a week or 2 weeks. Even that next year, they never even called me. So who are they going to call? Who are they going to use next? And it's going to be the agent that is farming their market and is in their face at the time. Of course, guys, thick skin. You can do everything just right. And the right person at the right time happens to be in front of them when they want to sell. And they're smart and they go, I just happen to have this with me. Yep. Sign here. We'll get it done. And we'll get it done. So we accomplish this by, again, creating an individual strategy and action plan. They need to know. Every buyer and seller should know that you're working on an individual strategy and action plan for them and how you're going to work their business. If you don't have any strategies and action plans in writing, I wonder if I have those on our script lists and things. We'll have to double check that.
Not yet.
I don't think you have that.
More ideas. So we're going to write up
everything you offer. Yeah, that's pretty much what I sell people. I try to like go through what did I offer, what did I do.
Yeah. So I think it's important to do those things. But then if you say you're going to do something, what else is important? You better do it. You better do it. So that's having the action plan. So that's the way to be. Go to the next one, Leah, and letting them know we have the resources and sharing it with them. This is very important. Remember we talked about our elevator script and how would you talk to somebody in an elevator? If you stare at the wall and don't talk to the chef, are you being attentive? No. Why should I use you instead of somebody else? Well, it's because I'm attentive. I have market experience. We're resourceful. And it's all about your lifestyle. Once you begin a journey with me on this, you'll quickly realize the difference. And I mean, when I'm talking about attentive, and you can memorize this, it's okay. When I talk about attentive, it's never about my opinion. It's just focused on you and your needs. When I talk about market experience, I mean it. Our firm's got, over 30 years of real estate experience. We're positioned to offer guidance to our clients. And, you know, the fact of the matter is a lot of companies are gonna say, we've got hundreds of years of experience. And they might, and it's because of how much experience each agent has. That's fine. I mean, I can change this number, but the reality is, it is what it is. So all of these things, and even the scripts we use, don't read them.
Yeah.
They're really there to help you come up with your own metaphors that work for you. And, you know, one of the ones I like to talk about is, we've got an orchestra playing. And the reason somebody needs you as their agent is the fact that you are the band leader. Whatever the guy's called up front, can't remember right now.
Conductor,
The conductor. Thank you, Leah.
gotcha.
You are the conductor. But the fact of the matter is, they're going, oh, I can do it by myself. Well, you could. You can handle all of the inspectors. You can handle all of the addendums, things that change, the modifications, every single showing. You can get the documentation right. You can handle an attorney to close it for you. But the fact of the matter is, you're trying to do all of these things yourself. You're going to most likely end up making less money than what you'd earn if I did it for you, because it's all I do all day, every day. I know how to encourage people to make higher offers. I think you're going to actually make more money with me than you would doing it yourself anyway. Well, why would you use a professional agent? I don't understand. And all of a sudden people will go, oh, and part of that is, like Joey said, here's everything I do.
Yeah.
And if I haven't, I will be sure that we have that up on app files. But again, when you're looking through our objection handlers, you know, somebody's objecting to buying in the market right now because the market, in their opinion, is going sideways. You know, I was listening to Kramer on the AM radio, and he says everything's going to blow up. No, I doubt it. Actually, and then he starts teasing the Democrats that are saying that. You can have Democrats or Republicans. It doesn't matter. They're just people, and everybody has opinions. The fact of the matter is, we're here to help people on their journey to buy and sell homes. And it's really an easy job. Buyer just wants to buy a home. Seller just wants to sell a home. We need to put the right ones together. And we need to dig. So if we find ourselves sitting on the couch watching TV because we were bored, bad choice. I mean, last night I was having fun even getting the final things together for this. I don't know how late I was working, but I was just having fun. Well, you were over there for a while. What time was I in the office? I don't even
We
remember.
were working until about 7:38.
Okay, I think I left, you know, you left. I think I got out of the office that night, but that's because the girls wanted to watch a movie. I'm like, no, I'll stop. If you guys come with something fun to do, I'll stop. Otherwise, I'm having fun.
James Bond?
Yeah, but you know, it's just like people like to shop. They like to clothes shop. I like to house shop. I really do. I like to see what's on our market. And if something tweaks my interest, I want to go see it. And I don't care if I've got a buyer to show it to or not. I want to go see it. It's some stuff I like to do. It's just like I love listing waterfront homes and showing up in my boat. People are like, say what? It's like, yeah.
That's smooth.
Yeah.
That far away?
That's fun. Sure. But anyhow, you know, we need to show people the difference in what we do. And the reason for us doing these trainings is just, if we want to even call them trainings, it could just be a discussion. The reason we're having these discussions, though, is to make sure that we're keeping your mindsets correct. That as you're doing things for your families, for yourselves, that you're doing things in an orderly, focused fashion with action plans and strategic plans that get you to what you want. Because if we don't do that, we're not going to reach them. That's why we took the last year and rebranded, did everything we did, because realized that when I switched offices, I was doing it just because I love to sell and I always ran my own businesses. I just took my team and continued to sell. And then I realized, oh, we've got all these agents in this now, folks that we've talked to that I wanted to work with or that wanted to work with me. So they're here. And we needed to lay out some more clarity as far as what we stood for. We took that to a whole nother level with Mark. Oh my gosh. He was outstanding. He is outstanding. And the fact of the matter is now, guys, you have resources that most firms don't have. What's set up is amazing. So, yeah, on that note, tell your friends about it too. I'd like to talk to them. especially if they've been in the business a little bit. Was that the end of it, Leah?
Yeah.
All right. So, how about an hour and 15 minutes? What else, you guys want to talk about? What do you have questions about? What can I answer for you?